We are joined now by former Ambassador Nikki Haley. Thank you for joining us this morning, Ambassador.
Good morning.
You spoke last night about our racial divide and criticized Democrats who you say called this a racist country. Joe Biden has not said America is racist, but he and other Democrats have decried patterns of what they say is systemic racism in housing, education, employment, law enforcement. The latest possible example, that shooting of Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin last night. Do those barriers exist, and what specifically has President Trump done to address them?
Well, what I've said is that America is a work in progress. You know, if you look at the fact that, we were able to fight a civil war and end slavery. We got through the segregation system. We had an African-American president. We've got an African-American female vice presidential candidate. So we are continuing to get better. But we have to always keep improving. I know about dirty cops. I dealt with one in South Carolina when we had a white officer shoot Walter Scott in the back. But we came together. We passed the first body camera bill in the country. That's how you fix things, by coming together, by talking about it, by getting to solutions. So, no, we're not a racist country. Do we have racists in our country? Yes. But we are a work in progress.
Right, but I asked you what President Trump has done to heal that racial divide. And, you wrote that you were deeply disturbed by President Trump's comments after Charlottesville. Since then, he's tweeted out a video of his supporters chanting white power, praised the Confederate flag, which you called divisive in your speech last night. So I'll ask the question again. What specifically has President Trump done to address this systemic racism, the racial divide?
Well, I will tell you, first of all, President Trump has passed criminal justice reform, which Obama and Biden didn't do. We saw the lowest unemployments of African Americans and Hispanics, which wasn't under President Obama or Biden. We have seen more funding go to the historically black colleges. That never happened under Obama and Biden. So this is more about opinions of you thinking that the president hasn't done enough. I'm looking at results of what the president has done.
I didn't say the president had done anything. I asked you what you thought he had done. And do you stand by your previous comments?
My previous comments of that we are continuing to be a work in progress?
Responding what the president said in Charlottesville when you said you were deeply disturbed.
Oh, of course. I wrote that in the book. I mean, there have been times where, the president and I don't agree necessarily on the style. And he's not the most politically correct person. Everybody knows that. But whenever I saw something, I would talk to him about it. And he would always listen, and he would always work towards improving. And I think that's what we have to understand, is at the end of the day, the man that I knew in the White House was someone who genuinely cared about the American people. He cared about the status of all people. He cared about making sure that he left his mark on improving America for when he was done. And I think that we have to look at that. To just think and to have, media outlets say that he's just a bad person is not fair.
You spoke last night of your Indian American roots and your parents and their immigrant story. Hey, on a personal level, what was your reaction when Kamala Harris, another Indian American, was chosen as the vice presidential nominee?
Look, I mean, anytime we see someone do something that hasn't done it before, it's a proud moment. You want to see Americans in general improve. So to see that now we've gotten past the barrier of an African American or a minority female as vice president, that's great. But the issues are that we disagree terribly on policy. But I'm not going to take away the fact that this was a huge step for her, but it was also a huge step for women, a huge step for minorities. But at the end of the day, the policies of Biden and Harris don't help minorities. They don't help them improve when it comes to school choice. They don't help them improve when it comes to criminal justice reform. They don't help them improve when it comes to the economy and having more jobs in America. And so that's really what this is going to talk about is, yes, it's great when we cross a barrier. It's even better when we get good policies in place where everyone is advantaged.
Ambassador Haley, thanks for your time this morning.
Thanks so much.
Our full coverage of the Republican convention continues tonight at 7 p.m. on ABC News Live, and I'll be anchoring our primetime coverage on the network starting at 10.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.